I'm Drew Lake talking to this fake bike to tell you how dangerous bullshit news is for your health. Listen to Charlie LeDuff, the Dope Bullshit News Hour. I'll beat it. That's what take my glasses off like crack.
Nana 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 nana.
Na 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 na. Second dose. No bullshit. No bullshit. No bullshit.
Hold on. Let's just did breaking news. No more bullshit. No more bullshit.
No bullshit. Na 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 na. No bullshit. No bullshit.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Bobby.
Hey, Charlie, how's it going?
It's not going good, dude. Welcome to No Bullshit News Hour for the week of November 24th, 2019. And here is next week's news today.
News you need to know.
On the show, we will have Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence of Detroit and the Points to talk about the Trump impeachment inquiry. And guess what? She doesn't support impeachment. She wants
Unbelievable.
She wants censorship. That's news. Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence does not want impeachment. She wants a censure. She wants to preserve the union and the institution. Big news coming up there. We will also talk about the federal demolition investigation into Detroit and Mayor Mike Duggan. And the Congresswoman wants the feds to halt the program now.
Test that soil.
That's next week's news today. Stay for that. We will also have Macomb County Executive Mark Hackel to talk about a proposed 11th hour change to the law that would allow them, listen folks, to uncap the taxes on your home in order to build a choo-choo train between Detroit and Ann Arbor. They're going to lift the taxes on your home to build that thing that...
They're going to lift the cap on your taxes so
Yes.
they can raise the taxes on your home.
Yes.
Yeah.
From almost any project.
Yeah.
Not just for the train and the buses. It could be for a Ferris wheel.
Right.
It could be for the zoo again or the DIA again.
Set a dangerous precedent.
Well, that's my home.
Right.
Take it out of my check so I can see it. And I support mass transit.
Or put it on the ballot and let me vote on it.
There you go, brother. So
I mean,
he'll be joining
come
us.
on.
But first, please, if you would y'all take a look at this man for those of you who are listening and not watching? That is Detroit police officer Rasheed McClain, who died in the line of duty Wednesday night. He was responding to a woman's distress call and was shot in the neck by a violent parolee who was barricaded in the basement of a house. Officer McClain did not know the woman, but he did not delay in his response to her cries. And tragically, after 16 years on the job, he did not make it home to his wife and children. Rasheed McClain was a good, honorable man. I had the good fortune to have known him. He was well respected in the department and in the community. He was a leader. He was a brave man. And he has my eternal gratitude and respect, as do you, the men and women of the Detroit Police Department. And I mean that.
Sad story.
I don't know. I've been to a dozen first responders' funerals in this city, and 4 or 5 dozen in New York. It just never sits right with me.
No.
And here, in this town, it's really not sitting right with me. Okay? Because he responded to a call.
Doing his job.
Do not shit on the police. You especially don't do it today. Because look, he responded to a domestic dispute. Well, it's more than that. The guy had a fucking AK.
Yeah.
All right? The people who live their lives and put themselves in this position, you went outside. He went in. He went in, a very brave man, and he went in first. He doesn't even know you. So you tell me, Tell me, what do you do without police?
You can't do anything.
Don't do that. Look at this man's face. We just lost an integral part of our community, right? No negativity here, please. I know they're shithead cops. That can be another day. And Bob? Okay, now here's the thing. He didn't have to die. I'm not going to take this occasion to be political, but I want to tell you what these men and women are facing, how they're being failed, and how you out there are being lied to.
Day in and day out.
Okay, you know, the chief holds a press conference with the mayor saying they ascertained the fact. Now listen, folks, this place that he went to this last Wednesday night and lost his life in some scummy, shabby basement somewhere in this city. It's where his life came to an end. The police, stop eating that shit. I mean it. Respect for this man. Sorry, Joey. It's just, sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize deeply for that. I'm sorry. But this man, this house that he went to, the police were there on October 30th, Devil's Night, when all the police were out. Because the asshole that killed him went to that house looking for his girlfriend and lit it up from outside with a fucking AK or something similar to it, all right? Lit it up on October 30th. The people in the house gave the police a partial name of the guy that did it, plus their phone number. I'm told by many cops who want me to tell you what really happened here. A detective called the number the next day and is said to have gotten a busy signal. That's the end of that. So distraught were the people in the house that November 1st, 2 days later, they walked into the 12th precinct and gave the assailant, the gunman's name. They gave him the name. He's a fucking parolee, a violent one. They gave him the name.
Right, because they knew he was such a bad dude that there's no snitching going on.
Remember that?
Yeah,
hey, listen, we need the community's help. The no snitching doesn't. They snitched.
They went and did the right thing.
They fucked the right thing. They were scared.
Yeah.
They walked into a precinct with cameras and put their faces on it, snitched. Help us. So guess what happened? Guess what happened, Bob? Nothing.
Nothing. Police didn't do anything.
I got to double check. They didn't call the man's parole officer. A witness sees you light up a house. You're a felon on parole. They violate you. They take you off the street. That's what they do. They didn't do that.
No.
They didn't go looking.
They had his name.
They didn't put a squad. They didn't do anything. Now, here's the next thing I found out. On Monday, he was a suspect, a person of interest, in a homicide and non-fatal shooting. Shot 2 people, 1 dead. So there was no interaction. There was no overlap. There was no effort to get the guy. This is what the officer lost his life for. He didn't need to. The leadership is terrible. The morale is terrible. And I appreciate so much the police. They all want me to say this. This is quadruple checked. This is the week that the city council of Detroit unanimously voted to give itself and the mayor a raise.
Yeah.
In the meantime, the police have taken a pay cut. They're leaving, and a 16-year veteran who took it upon himself to work with the young officers to create a culture of good policing is not with us. He's got a wife. He's got 2 children. Funny thing about the bankruptcy, they no longer have health care because he's no longer an employee of the police department. Okay, so it burns my ass. I found it. I'm sorry, this is not political. This is for the love of you in the community that want the police and love for the police who are doing the hardest job in the United States. Can you think of a tougher one?
Very few places.
Let me see if I can pull this up, and if it works down here in the lower level. Karen is on one of the coasts today. Let me see if I can do this. Here's what the chief said about the October 30th issue and this one. Like, here's what he knew and did not know.
And the one thing that we know in terms of the original crime report, there was very little information identifying the suspect. So it appeared that the investigators had nothing much to follow up on.
Okay. Did you hear that? The investigators had nothing much to follow up on. I will remind you.
They had his name.
And they walked into the police station.
Yeah.
And the parole officer never received a phone call. Now, it will be easy for me to shit all over a detective. But you want to know what? Is Facebook Live still on? You want to know how many houses get shot up in Detroit? It's a stack this high. I'd guess 20 cases are sitting on that desk. Right? So you might ask, well, then why be outraged about it? I go, this is an assault rifle. This guy means business. People walked into the precinct. Now, where's that supervisor? A detective has a supervisor, a lieutenant, presumably. Y'all discussed the week's cases? Huh? Did you get his address? Call the parole officer. Go get this fucking guy.
Right.
Right? The lieutenant's got a captain. The captain's got a commander. The commander's got a deputy chief. And we got the chief doing this.
Well, we didn't have very much information to do. Go on.
He's doing the press conference about, like, I don't know why this man only got 1 to 10 years, on a intent to do great bodily harm, less than murder, and a firearms weapon. So you can figure out what this guy's all about.
Well, that's ancient history anyway.
Yeah, but he's in prison. He's a bad dude.
Right.
Right? He's going, it's 1 to 10. Why is it only that? I guess that's a good question.
Sure,
Okay,
but...
I guess.
But still, they had their name. You guys didn't follow up and do anything.
What? Yes. Or, the tactics. So, like...
And now one cop's dead and one's still in the hospital shot.
Let's look at what this officer was doing. He's a real policeman, right? He's going in. He's not waiting for SWAT. Normally SWAT will come in and smoke the guy out with some fire, some tear gas, right? He's thinking maybe I can't wait because I remind you of what we try to do on this show. This broadcast, excuse me. It's not a show. It's a broadcast. Police don't wait for ambulances.
No.
And that's no knock on the ambulances. It's just a culture you can't be sure, even if we've turned the page. Nobody waits. I cannot blame the man for being a real police. And his partner was shot, right? In the leg.
In the leg, yeah.
The guy had 2 years on the job. He trained in the guy, right? That guy was a vet. And he went first, like a leader does.
Right.
Like that, man. So let's not confuse this with this punk. And I have his name. I'll wait till he's arraigned. This punk is hiding in a basement with a semi-automatic weapon. We're talking about his tactical training. Where did he get tactical training? Guy's been incarcerated since he's 14. What tactical training? That we're changing the headline. The headline is, it's incompetence. The command staff keeps going around and around. Who put the detectives together and said, put a APB on this dude?
Right. Nobody did.
Because now a friend of all of ours and a father and a husband
not with us any longer.
Wanted for a homicide on Monday. That's 2 bodies. Please. Please. Or it's time to think about the next thing you're going to do. And look, I know you're listening. I called you. I called the headquarters. I called the big brass. You did not call back. But I talked to all the rest of them. Because they want people to know. It's not working. Homicides are up. We got 15 more homicides this year than last year. We got 50 more shootings. And you're telling us violent crime is down. It's not good enough. And anybody else that might, maybe, follow up on this story, don't just go to the chief. Go to the rank and file. See how they feel.
Well, they know what's really happening.
We're not doing this just to be the ones doing it. trying to inform you about your taxes and your president and the quality of your environment and your water, Flint, and your dirt, Detroit, and your safety police, and all the people that got pay as a whole community. The man stands on a sidewalk and lights up a home, and we get no follow-up.
You would say unbelievable, but it's believable.
Well, go ahead. You can all, let me make sure no sources' names are on this. This is the mania at night when this shit's going on. Late. The police deserve better. They deserve a raise. And if you keep doing this to them, you're going to get a third world style police force in a couple of years. No disrespect to anybody serving now. Thank you. But twice we've had the narcotics squad taking money and stealing dope now. Come on. Let's keep track of the money. Let's be real about what we're doing in these development projects. Oh, and you know what? Here's what's fun. I told you. Development project. Where's the bridge? Remember that, Bob?
Yeah.
Was that last week?
Yeah.
Guess what happened this week? Sure enough, there's a front page story in the Windsor paper. The bridge is moving. We're moving stuff around.
Yeah.
You could predict it. Right? It's yesterday's news that never happens. Ours is tomorrow's news today. Come on. Hold the feet to the fire. Dig around.
Well, they were just responding, you know.
Rasheen did not deserve this. You know what I mean? But he did the job. Much respect.
Well, and his comrades don't deserve it. They deserve to be protected. They deserve to be paid. They got a hard job. Hard job.
Oh, man, come on. Let's think about it. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm not diminishing. I'm like, that's saying mildly.
Well, yeah.
Think about this now, okay? Think about this. The poorest big city in the country. The most violent big city in the country. Right? The hardest working police force and fire department in the country, just by sheer volume, per capita, right? And you're walking into what? Would you do that?
No.
I would do like the people in the house, and I would run the fuck out of there, right? You make a call and a perfect stranger answers your distress. And only till last year, they weren't even, till we shamed them. The Detroit police wouldn't even pay for these men's funeral, or women. They left it to the next of kin.
Oh, my God.
Show up there and give promotions that didn't mean anything in death. The widow didn't get extra benefits. She just gave him a promotion for TV. I'm incensed.
Wow.
Okay. Well, happy Thanksgiving. There's better days. And remember, I'm not going to commercialize this, but it's the segment now we move on. We have to get to the Congresswoman. These are our sponsors. I just wanted, sorry, guys. Sorry, Luke. Sorry, Grace. I'm just going to do it from my heart. Luke, I'll give you a number. But American Coney Island, right, is a Detroit institution. It's run by Grace Caros. It was her father, Chuck, and it was her grandfather, Gus. They support the blue and the red. And they put on charity events. You all know that. They give of them their time. They respect you. We three put on a lunch for you last Christmas. It's not much, but it's just a gesture to show that we care. If you're going to go downtown for the parade this weekend, right downtown, American Coney Island's right there at the terminus. It's a great family spot. They have hot chocolate, the famous dogs that they started. If anybody knows the history, I wrote it. It's there. That's where it began. It's a great family place right downtown. Stop in Michigan and Lafayette. Luke Nowacki works with first responders. He respects them. There are things. I called Luke today. I said, dude, we're going to talk about police. And what did he say? There's something he wanted me to tell you specifically. I remember. Go and find out what your benefit packages, your pension. Ask your pension board for your benefit analysis and start to plan. As you know, you already know this. You don't know what's going to happen in life. Start making a plan. Are you single? Are you divorced? Do you have children? Are your children in college? It's just different for everybody. You don't go it alone. Don't have somebody pull something out of a drawer from some big firm and just give you that and you sign it and hope it all works out. Take some time. Have a beer with the man. You call Luke at 663-4748. That's 248-663-4748. He's at Pinnacle Wealth. Call it all of it. They just want me to tell you that they love you and respect you. And I guess I should say the securities and investment advisory services offered through Royal Alliance Associates, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Royal Alliance Associates, Inc. is separately owned. And other entities and or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Royal Alliance Associates, Inc. We will all, I'll be down there. Luke will be down there. Why don't y'all come down this holiday season? And let me just, we're going to have the congressman on, but let's take 5 seconds, 10 seconds to think of the man, his family, and yourselves, and everything that you do have to be thankful for. And most of all, I'm thankful for one another because we give each other purpose in life. And I want a better day. And you know what? When dawn sets and it's dark, the sun rises again. Let's get up and keep going. But it is a sad day for Detroit. And God bless you, Officer McClain. Okay, now having said that, we have Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence on the show today. Hi, madam, you there?
Yes, I am. How are you?
I'm really well. Yourself?
Can't complain. Glad to be home and be out of the bubble and to looking forward to Thanksgiving Day.
The shit show that is Washington, right?
Yes, it is.
So, okay, look, you represent the 14th District. That's Detroit. That's Southfield. Who else? Where else?
Pontiac, Southfield, Detroit. Those are the major cities.
Just so.
But the Grosse Points and also Hamtramck.
The Grosse Points.
Yes.
So you got one of those weird gerrymandered, twisty.
Very much. Whenever they talk about gerrymandering, they put my district up.
Okay, can I call you Jerry?
No.
Okay, Madam. Okay. Madam, first, let's just do this. We don't do news unless we have a direct link to it, and you are it for us. The impeachment proceedings against President Trump, the Intelligence Committee adjourned. It was Thursday, right? What's next in this process?
So now they have to write up their report, all the findings, and send it over to the Judiciary Committee, and they will then begin to evaluate the articles of impeachment based on the information. They can, if they need, re-interview some people, but a lot of the members of the Intel were also on Judiciary. So I don't anticipate more interviewing. There may be, but then once the Judiciary comes up with the articles of impeachment, what were the violations? Why are you saying there are violations? Then it will come to the floor for a vote.
To impeach?
Yes.
And
once it comes to the floor, I can tell you from the hearings, and I've sit on government oversight, so I've sat in a lot of the hearings before they went public.
Oh, the closed door stuff.
I will tell you, yes, I will tell you that I feel that there's significant evidence based on the interviews and the documents to impeach. Once a vote is taken on the floor, I anticipate at this time, based on the rhetoric I'm hearing from my Republican colleagues, is that they're saying what he did was improper. They stopped saying nothing happened. Now they're saying it was improper, but they don't think it's at the level for impeachment. So it will be a partisan vote, Democrat and Republicans. It will go to the Senate, and the take it up, or if they take it up, they will not indict.
So you've already written the show. You already know how it's going to go, right?
I haven't written it, but I will tell you that's my best sense of what will happen being in this bubble that I'm in D.C. and the way things are going.
If you don't mind, I'm not a dumb person. I'm not the smartest either. But what did he do that's so impeachable that we're going to tear the United States president out of the chair?
There's a couple things that happen in impeachment. You can censure. You don't have to remove the president. So there's different levels of activities that you can take under the articles of impeachment.
Oh.
We are so close to an election. I will tell you, sitting here knowing how divided this country is, I don't see the value of taking him out of office, but I do see the value of putting down a marker, saying his behavior is not acceptable. It's in violation of the office and the oath of office of President of the United States. And we have to be clear that you cannot use your power of the presidency to withhold funds to get a foreign country to investigate an American citizen for your own personal gain. There's no way around that.
I'll be damned. I'm serious. I credit where credit is due. I agree with you. I think that's an adult and proper way to go about this. You're right. You can't take the people's chair and try to hit people up for political favors, right? Whether it be a meeting or I'm going to sit on your aid that's very important to protecting your integrity as a nation. But to hear you say, and you are a Democrat, and you are a liberal-minded person, I know you don't like Trump, but you said for the betterment of all of us in an election year that it's unwise to tear him from the chair. Is that how you think?
Yes. I want him censored. I want it on the record that the House of Representatives did their job, and they told this president and any president coming behind him that this is unacceptable behavior. And under our Constitution, we will not allow it.
So, look, you're in the shit show, the circus, the bubble. Here's the headline that's going to come. Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence does not support impeachment. That's not what you said. The headline is this. The Congresswoman from Detroit and Grosse Pointe does not support impeachment in an election year. She wants the president censured for history.
Yes.
Are we going to get that, madam? I can live with that. Do you think that's where it goes?
I'm going to have that discussion with the party and with the caucus, and I think I could get my Republican colleagues who recognize that this is unacceptable. It's no way you can cut it. It's unacceptable.
I would think so. Bob?
What do the Republicans, your Republican colleagues, say in private? I mean, obviously we know what they say in public, but in private, do they say, this is...
Private, they wish he would stop. They wish he would use more compassion, more intelligence. They wish he would stop tweeting. They wish he would surround himself with people who could advise him and not yes people. Those are the things that they're embarrassed so often. Like when he tweeted when the former ambassador was speaking, so many of them just dropped their head and said, for crying out loud, how do you get this? And I don't want to be disparaging to the president, but how you get this dense that you don't realize this is not what you do.
Well, you know what, madam?
It's inappropriate.
It's funny.
How do you get that dense?
Everybody's sitting in committee on Twitter watching him. That's what's funny, too.
And it's just,
it's gotten
everyone
stupid.
that's a Republican is not a bad person.
No, not at all.
We're a two-party system.
And you're talking about my mama, and I love her more than almost anything on earth.
And the thing is that if you think our Constitution and our body of law is good, it was reached in a bipartisan way. And so you can't demonize someone because they're Republican, but our Constitution is not a Republican or Democratic document, and it should guide all of us.
Well, remember this, madam, during this election cycle, most of us don't belong to either of you.
Well, I would hope no one belongs to a party. I would think that you align with a group that you most identify with, but hopefully, and I'm seeing too much of that, people are acting as if they belong to a party.
Right.
I mean, I am a Democrat, but I'm an independent United States of American citizen.
I'm going to write that down. Okay, listen, because you're going to start getting queasy and have to jump. There's something also very brave, very bold, and a very big piece of news this past week in Detroit as the city council rejected Mayor Mike Duggan's call for a $250 million bond for more demolition. You're keeping your eye on the $250 million previous dollars for demolition. You've called for a halt to that program and an investigation and, why don't you tell us, a testing of all the soil they put in there?
Yeah. So, Charlie, as you know, we went through a horrific experience here in Michigan because of the Flint water situation.
Yes.
That was clearly a decision by our government. And federal dollars, our tax dollars, were used for the demolition, which is a great thing. We needed the hardest hit funds and we needed that money. But we cannot take those government dollars and expose our citizens to contaminants like asbestos and lead that we all know are in these older homes. And there was an Auditor General report released that implicated that this was the case. And so I said, and this is not beating up on the mayor, because this to me is bigger than the mayor. It's about the safety of our citizens. And so I called for them to test and to validate that these soils are not contaminated. And I have asked, and the mayor and I are going to sit down and go through these reports. And I'm going to keep doing my due diligence. And our federal agencies are also looking into this and doing their due diligence. And so I want the record to reflect that when there was a concern about the health and safety, that I did my job. And so that's what this is about.
Now, Duggan wasn't happy. I got ears everywhere. He would hit the freaking roof. Did he yell at you?
Let's just say the mayor and I have each other's attention right now, and we're going to work together.
Well, that's a confirmation. Very well done, madam. Number two, let me just look, you're honest. I think my affection for you is growing leaps and bounds here. And I've been watching you for a very long time. A very capable, not only woman in intellect, but politician. You bucked the party, and you won that seat because of your demeanor, your experience, your intelligence. This is an election year, the anybody but Trump year, right? You're a Democrat. The mayor's a Democrat. He really wants this money. My suspicion is that he's going to use it to pay back all the federal fines that are coming his way because of this stuff, because those holes are full of shit. They are. Trust me. I've been honest since day one. I don't think you would do this, call for this, if you didn't suspect or hear in some way that the feds think the same way you do, because let's remember, it's been months now that you called for an audit of this dirt. So what I guess I'm really asking is, are you hearing whispers of what's in this dirt?
I'm not disclosing anything. I will tell you that the reports from our federal investigation has not been released, and they will be. So I'm validating on my level with my due diligence representing the city of Detroit.
Wow. Okay, well said.
And I will continue to do that.
So that the audit is done and we can expect it soon?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Wow. Do you know if they will give you a preview before they release it to the public or to the mayor? Or
Well, we're communicating, and they are to the, it's called SARTAR.
SIGTAR,
Yes, to their credit, they have said we're not going to comment until we complete our investigation. So I have no idea what their finding is going to be, but I do know that they said that they're in the latter stages and will be wrapping up soon.
Okay, so I just pantomimed this. You can't see me, but I looked at my colleagues here in the studio and I said, wow. Is that a proper reaction?
At the end of the day, if the soil is not contaminated, it's a win-win for all of us. But, one person told me it costs too much money to go back and test all those sites. Please don't tell me that, because the safety and health of our residents, it does not have a price tag on it. It's just, that was the reason why they flipped that water, the government flipped that water in Flint, supposedly to save money. So please don't tell me that.
Yeah, and you know what?
You need to,
not to save money. It was to make
that.
money. It was to make money. The water price is the same. It's the politicians get their contributions, the contractors get their contracts, the trade unions get their high-paying jobs. It was all about making a buck off the poorest people in America is what it was.
But we cannot take something that we need in the city of Detroit and have any concerns about contamination. And the mayor and I are going to work together on this.
Well, I tried with him. He wouldn't. All I got was lawsuits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before we blew all the money. Oh, that's all I got. So I'm glad you're doing it. A lot of respect to you. And, let us know when you know, will you?
Okay, will do.
Thanks so much.
You take care, Charlie.
It was really a pleasure.
Thanks, Congressman.
Okay, bye-bye.
Dude, how smart is she?
She's very good.
Joey, mannequin?
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's smart.
Well, I was, my curiosity was piqued because what she saw behind those closed door hearings.
Yeah.
Because she's like, no, there's plenty of evidence.
Yes.
We've got plenty of evidence.
Yes, that she's not.
I can't comment on it. Yes. But it's coming.
But we saw a lot of it.
We did see a lot of it.
We did. We saw, and anything that was for real in there was leaked. So.
Well, yeah, and a lot of the witnesses that we saw in the public testimony had been deposed already behind closed doors, and then they went over what their testimony was. So
and as a nonpartisan, right? As a guy that thinks, man, look, people that support Trump, vote for him. I get it, and a lot of stuff he talks about, I support, but I think he's a shithead. But having said that, I think what she said about censuring what she supports is the best of all worlds. I agree with that.
It's a really reasonable position.
I think it's the proper one myself.
Well, and I would advocate for removal, but it's a really reasonable position because she knows they're not going to have the votes in the Senate to remove him anyway. But they might get the votes to censure him in the Senate.
Yeah, and to send the message.
Right.
Right. And that does need to be done. You may not use that seat for bullshit like that.
Well, no, and she made the
shaking people down, to get some political favor.
And she made the very good point that, and it's not just for this president; it's for the future presidents, the next president, the next president after that.
And not only that, the next time a Democrat is the president, now comes and the Republicans control, the chamber. Now comes another impeachment hearing. Now this just becomes a political weapon instead of something, a tool to take care of serious matters.
Right.
So that I'm glad about. Don't destroy my institution, even though dummy over here
is trying very hard to.
Jeez, dude. But again, like I said, it's not bigger than Kennedy giving the green light to take out the prime minister of South Vietnam.
Well, no.
Okay.
No.
Or secret bombings of Laos.
But,
or Iran-Contra.
No,
or weapons of mass destruction,
none-
Abu Ghraib /
but none of those presidents were impeached for that.
I know, that's my
You know,
point.
the last president that was impeached was Clinton, and it was over that he lied about sex.
You see what's happening here?
Yeah.
And I was pissed at Clinton. I thought he's a dum-dum.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Lying to a grand jury, dude.
But what this president did is actually criminal, or I believe it to be.
Well, you believe it to be, but
Yeah.
a lot of people don't. And, you live with them, and they are your friends and your relatives.
Sure.
And you don't want them to feel disenfranchised over what? Again, I'm not making excuses for it. It's wrong. He did it.
Right.
He did.
Totally did.
And I know you hung up the money, too.
Right.
Whatever the timeline, and you didn't tell anybody. But you better have that in writing. Well, do we have to have it in writing where the president says, hey, let's shake him down? Yeah, I think so.
Well, that's where some of the Republicans were tacked. That was the tack they were taking. It's like, well, he didn't say let's commit a crime.
Well, the presumption was, and I'm like, you're right. You're right. But having said that, Bob, for something of this magnitude, I do need to see it. Call me a dummy. But I was listening for myself. And then I put it to bed, and I woke up in the morning to read the papers. Now, I only listened to the afternoon.
Right.
Sondland. But I know what I felt after hearing it. And I didn't really see it anywhere. So that's why we try not to be talking heads here. Because people have their own minds made up. Everybody sees the same set of facts.
Right. But they interpret them differently.
All right, let me just remind you who's standing behind us here, all right? Sponsors of our show, like speaking of demolition, ADR, experienced demolition, right? Software, IT, construction. They've overseen all of it, really. More than $250 million in private and public construction projects since 2001. Honest, competent, ethical, smart. Call Barry Ellentuck at 248-318-9424 for a consultation. Seriously, folks, you heard Brenda. Studies are coming. And by the way, even if SIGTARP finds they're random samples, it's not poison, we still got all the money issues and the contract swinging. This hasn't gone away. It was a devastating week for Duggan.
Yeah.
The Democrats aligned against him. Whitmer hates him. Nessel took his emails.
City council.
The city council had his first huge defeat, right? The IG, the inspector general, the reports about his girlfriend deleting the emails. Right. And I know you gave the order, Mike.
Yeah.
Right? The auditor general saying the whole thing's a shit show. The money's gone. We don't know where it's at. Really bad. It's not by a long shot, folks. ADR Consultants providing construction management and IT consulting services for your company, municipality, or law enforcement agency. Get the job done right, on time, on budget. ADR Consultants, 248-318-9424. The mannequin moved. Yeah, you freaked me out. You moved. Let's not forget Hall Financial. What if I told you could skip a mortgage payment and lower your payment? Bob already knows this.
I'd say I did it.
What if we... Here, Bob. Go on. Here. Pick it up from there. You are living proof. Second paragraph. Go ahead and read.
What if I told you that you could skip a mortgage payment and lower your payment? I did that. Or if I told you that Hall Financial will not only walk you through the process of buying your home, but provide you with the top realtor in your area. Who doesn't want that type of full service? Hall Financial knows how to deliver 5-star service. That means your schedule, availability at night and on weekends, they're going to work for you. And you won't be charged hidden or extra fees. You know what you're getting when you work with Hall Financial. Call them today, 248-308-5000. That's 248-308-5000 if you're looking to purchase or to refinance. Or chat with them online at davidhallmortgage.com. Give Hall Financial a chance today, the official mortgage lender of the Dave and Chuck Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 1467435.
Yeah, you're supposed to change Dave and Chuck to No Bullshit News Hour. That's okay, Dave and Chuck.
I don't even have my glasses. I'm hard
Drew and Mike.
No bullshit news.
He's blanking in the universe here because he's number one, right? See if me save that. Hey, you sound good, man.
Yeah.
Like I can't wait till your grandchildren are old enough to be able to withstand the alcohol evaporating from your gums. As soon as their grandma, your wife will let them, you'll be reading sweetly like that, brother.
I hope so.
All right, we're moving right along. It's No Bullshit News Hour.
No bullshit.
All the stuff's not sexy, but you're getting tomorrow's news today. We want to hip you to something super important if you're a homeowner, okay?
Information you need to know.
So we got Macomb County Executive Mark Hackel on the line. You there, Mark?
I'm good. How you doing, guys?
Real good, brother.
Charlie. Hey, Mark.
So, Mark, here's the thing. They want to bring this Regional Transportation Authority thing back again. They want to do more bus lines. Mainly, this is about a commuter line, a rail line from Ann Arbor downtown to Detroit downtown. My suspicion is to bring some crowds to these the casinos and the ballparks. But the way that they're going to do this, there's an 11th hour proposal in Lansing to uncap the taxes on our homes, right, in order to pay for it, and to go around the original regional transportation law, SMART, which is if the county agrees to it, the people in particular municipalities within the county may opt out and not pay for it. Is that correct?
I think you just touched on something that's extremely important for people to realize, and that's the original transit proposal was SMART decades ago. And the only county that was all in on the regional proposal was Macomb County.
What do you mean by that?
Detroit, well, there's in a community of Macomb County that isn't part of the SMART system. We decided as a county to participate. So we did. There's one vote countywide. All municipalities are in based upon the yes/no vote, 50% or better.
Whether they have a bus or not, they're paying.
Correct. And so there are community credits. They do get buses up at the north end. We've worked out agreements. So everybody's pretty much satisfied with what we've had and what we're doing. And we're the only county that has done that. And so Detroit opted out with their own DDOT system. And then there are many municipalities in Wayne and Oakland County that opted out. But Macomb never, ever complained about that, saying you're not being regional. Why aren't you doing it our way? We assumed that communities decided what they wanted to do, allow them to do what they want to do. So we're the only ones that
let's back this up a second, Mark. Let's back this up. So you're saying in Wayne County, the biggest user of the SMART system is Detroit, right?
Well, I think DDOT is their biggest, provider right now. There are some routes, and the fast buses do go down in Detroit, and there are some smart buses that do pick up in and around Detroit. But again, that's something that is obviously provided, but yet paid for by those communities outside of Detroit through their millage.
So to summarize that, Detroit uses it but doesn't pay for it.
Well, I guess in a way you could say it that way, yeah.
Well, let's make it plain because...
So are we going to pay for this line from Ann Arbor to Detroit, and I'm not going to use it?
Yeah, and how's that work? How's the new one work, Mark? And how is it Macomb's not part of it?
Yeah, I guess there's two issues here. One is the transit plan or RTA proposal, whatever it is they're looking to do. The disconnect is in Macomb, so let's get that. Let's make that clear. So if there's a need to try to figure out how do we bring these other communities on board, I think that is where the sticking point is. I think they're having a hard time finding a way to convince those communities in Wayne County and in Oakland County to participate. They just don't want to. So, far be it for me to try to convince them or tell them, but there hasn't been a way of doing it, yet there is a mechanism for any one of those communities to join on board in the SMART system.
Wait, let me stop you there. Are you in a fish tank? What's going on with the phone?
No, I'm driving down the road in a car.
Hey, you can't do that. You used to be the sheriff, man. You know better.
Oh no, I'm on here. I'm on a hands-free right now. That's
okay, listen. Pull over because come on. Listen, pull over for a second. Just do it.
All right.
Yeah, because you keep going in and out.
Okay. How am I doing now?
Okay. Yeah, you're good. And you have your weapon in the car locked up today.
I'm good.
Did you ever get that weapon back?
No, sir.
Oh, shit. No, they still never got the gun. For all of you that don't know, our former sheriff, a lot of us carry, and he had us locked up in the car and it got pinched.
It happened. I'm not I guess a
little embarrassing.
Immune to. Well, not really. I mean, when you're victimized, you never want to re-victimize a victim. So
where was this?
I would caution trying to give somebody any grief over somebody coming into their home or on their property, stealing something that belongs not to them but to someone else.
No.
Not for the victim.
No, we're just busting your balls because it's funny.
I got you.
Yeah, but where did that happen?
At my house.
Oh, it's your house.
Yeah.
Where do you live? I mean, like what county?
Out in Macomb Township.
Macomb Township?
Yeah.
Wow.
Crime's rampant out there.
We're not immune to it. It's
Oh, my
unfortunate.
God.
And again,
No one is immune to it.
There have been some challenges with that in and around our northern part of the county.
Well, welcome to America, man. That's the thing. So let's get back to the real robbery here, okay?
Yeah.
So for years, since 2012, I think, they've been trying to tax our houses to blow out a regional transportation system, which, we really do have a pretty good footprint now with SMART. So for these 2 cycles now, they've been trying to tax only the homeowner, only homeowners, right?
Correct.
And they've been trying to get their claws into our property taxes. They don't have the balls to tax my check, my income, because I'm going to see that. But I'm worried about everybody's domicile. So they couldn't do it because in the old days, you had to get each county to buy in, correct? Each county had to vote for it.
Well, we did. So there is a system in place, and there is the original, attempt to try to figure out how do we create this system was the right idea, but it fell short of being the system that it could be because not everybody opted in. So the question is, can that ever happen? Can we get out of SMART what we truly intended to begin with? I don't know. The question is, what attempts have been made to try to get those other communities and those other counties to buy into this? And if they did, obviously, it would provide for the connectivity in every one of the counties. Nobody would have to take a bus to a certain location and then walk through a township or a town to get to another bus line that happens to be in there. Macomb, we don't have that problem. That's not the issue in Macomb. And so I guess the question is that the attempt to try to figure out how do we bring on this RTA? Is it a way of bypassing those communities that don't want to get in by having them outvoted in a particular region or in a particular county, and so that they're forced in, doing what Macomb County did willingly, not being forced in, or is it really an attempt to try to figure out how do we fix the system?
Okay, well,
if we want to fix the system, we need to enhance what we have with SMART.
Well, let's go like that. That's true. I want the politics here. How is it now that what is it that's going to be Wayne County, Oakland County, and Washtenaw County? That's not under what the SMART. I
don't think you're going to. Correct. There are some communities in Wayne County and in Oakland County that participate with SMART, and many of them are satisfied with that. When it comes to trying to figure out where we're headed next, I don't think anybody believes the RTA is going to get on the ballot again because it did in 2018, and for reasons that I've explained already. When people keep saying, "Well, Macomb isn't supportive of transit," Macomb doesn't. Well, I go back to the history. I keep saying, that. You can keep singing that song, but it's not the lyrics are incorrect. So
we get that. Let's not revisit that.
Well, you get that, but there's a lot of other media outlets that refuse to.
Yeah, but what I'm asking is this, because now we're moving forward because Macomb's out. Yeah. How do they end? What is this new RTA?
They can't do it through the RTA because the RTA has a board, and there has to be one of the 2 members that are appointed by each county have to agree to put it on the ballot. That's not happening in Macomb, so they realize that. So now the question becomes, is there some other avenue of getting some kind of a vote to capture some of the, if you will, tax dollars in communities to bring about another opportunity for a transit system? So this Municipal Partnership Act, they're trying to tweak that language to give an opportunity for the boards of commissioners in each of those counties, which would then be apparently where they're headed with this, is Wayne County, Oakland County, and Washtenaw County. If the Board of Commissioners are transit friendly, and they decide that they want to force the communities within their counties to be participating in a vote countywide, this act will allow them to do that if and when it's changed. So now it's going to get the county board to decide.
If I might, this is a way to end run the SMART system and the RTA. This is like we're building a RTA Part 2, kind of.
Yeah, and again, I guess that's the question. Is it about the RTA? In other words, that board will no longer be able to make this decision. It's going to be each community in the partnership agreement putting this to the vote of their own people within that jurisdictional boundary that they decided the agreement's made upon. So here, it can be a city with a city. It could be a city with a county. It could be a county with a county. And I think that's what the attempt is. It's going to be trying to make counties, the 3 counties, agree to some kind of plan, and then go to the boards of commissions and try to get them to go ahead and adopt the language to put it on the ballot So it's a county-wide vote as to whether they want to participate in this plan for this transit system that they're looking to.
So whether like currently now under SMART, if the county passes it, but your municipality doesn't want it, you don't have to. This would require you to pay into it.
This would, because right now the county does not have a county-wide vote in Oakland, Wayne, and or Washtenaw County. They have municipality by municipality decide any time SMART came back for renewal or for a increase, it went to their various communities to decide whether they wanted to still participate. In Macomb County, from day one, we did it what should be the model way of doing it. It's a county-wide vote, and that's how we were able to make that I guess agreement.
Now the thing here, this is what I really wanted to get to. Me reading the legislation, see if I'm correct here. What you're talking about, the Municipal Act, right, of 2011, would allow the county property tax cap to be lifted and not like these intermunicipal agreements you're talking about, whether, let's say, we want to do trains or Detroit and Warren wanted to put a Ferris wheel in the middle of 8 Mile. We would tax our homes, and it doesn't count for the property tax cap, right?
I know enough about this to be dangerous because I'm not part of the legislation. I'm not part of this, pushing forward with that legislation. I'm just kind of watching it still be developed and what they're doing to make a determination. How will this impact, not just Macomb, Oakland, and Wayne County or even Washington. This would be a statewide opportunity for people to go ahead and, like you said, bypass any tax cap or millage cap that they may have if and when communities decide to agree upon some kind of a plan and they put it before the vote of the people.
Well, wait, let that sink in, what you just said. This is a way for state, the counties, the city, the drain commissioner to dig into your house.
Seems like a dangerous precedent.
And it's being done at the murky time of year in Lansing, right? And it might... Go ahead.
It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out when the legislation, when the language is actually, I guess better to understand and read when they're finalizing it.
Yeah.
The question is going to be, is this a way of bypassing caps that municipalities may have on millages or millage requests? And if it is, it's going to be quite an interesting dialogue, for many of these legislators with many community leaders. Coming in and saying, whether it's a township or a city or a village, saying, wait a minute, I'm a little concerned about this. So the legislators are going to have some interesting conversations about this with that point alone.
I say just let us vote for it and stop jamming it down our necks. Because you want to know who's sponsoring this? This legislation for like the Quad County region, Tri-County, Metro Detroit, is some jackhole from Temperance. You know where Temperance is, Bob?
No.
It's near Toledo.
Oh, Temperance, Michigan, yeah.
Like, step on, bro. Get out of here. We vote. We decide. I'm sorry, RTA people.
Well, and again, I say it sets a really dangerous precedent because, if they do this for an RTA or transportation, bill, what's to stop them from doing it for other pet projects?
Thank you. And you know what else? Mark will know this. I pay for SMART and willingly pay for SMART, okay? Once they put this new thing in and they want another 1.5 mils, right?
Right.
I still get to pay the 1 mil for the SMART.
Plus the new one.
Detroit won't have to pay for SMART, and Livonia won't have to pay for SMART because they currently don't.
Right.
So, because I'm a do-gooder, you're going to, how much you want to rate me? Why are you putting in a train from Ann Arbor to Detroit except for the casinos and the sports stadiums.
And the airport.
That we pay for, the sports stadiums. Oh, there's going to be a bus to the airport. The sports stadiums that we pay for and don't share any revenue. And you know what? What place in the division are the Lions, Bob?
Last.
Hey, Mark, what place in the division are the Red Wings?
Yeah, I don't think they're doing too well.
Last.
Yeah.
What place are the Pistons, Mannequin Joe, in their division? That's right, last. And the Tigers? They were last in all of baseball. Yeah. How much do I got to give you guys?
Right. And not get anything back.
I do know this about Macomb, Mark. They put a big Amazon site up there, distribution center. Didn't have any buses. Does it have buses now?
Well, that's one of the interesting things. When this whole discussion came about, we didn't get that bid for the the HQ2, the Amazon facility, and they tried to make it as if because it was because of not having transit. That's not true at all. There's no There's no truth to that. It's not fact-based. So I say that because we were able to secure this Amazon facility here. It's a 1 million square foot facility, 1,000 jobs that they provide here. Granted, it's just a distribution center. It's not an HQ2, but it is quite an economic opportunity for us on a site that was a problem from being vacated by Ford many years ago. And so this land was not developable. But they came in and said, here, we'll work with you. We'll develop this land. We want to put this here. Not one question about transit came up until after the facility was built, or almost, before they started hiring and bringing in people, they asked us in Shelby Township, how do we get a transit line to this facility in case we have workers that need to get here? We went to our provider, Smart, and within a month they solved the problem and had 2 locations, drop off and pick up on 2 major roads to that particular facility. So we can do it. There isn't anything we can't help provide, and if there's a question or concern in Macomb County about getting people to and from, we can do that. I don't think anybody believes anybody's going to get to a point or government's going to solve a problem where we pick you up from your doorfront and we take you to the exact location you need to go. But the routes and the ability to get people to and from within extreme close proximity, we've been able to solve those problems here in Macomb County, and Smart has been our provider that's been doing that for decades.
Okay. So what we're going to do here is all you moralizers talking to we homeowners, because I did some calculation. Basically, if your house were $200,000, it'd be the same as raising your gas tax 25 cents. That's my math. And nobody wants to pay 25 cents to improve the roads they're using, much less a train to Ann Arbor you're never going to be on.
Yeah.
So let's take what we have, fix it, and move forward with it. Is that about right, Mark?
And again, I think they just need to try to figure out how to get those other communities to willingly participate. That would add a tremendous amount of resources financially for us to continue to build upon the system we have.
Yeah, maybe my new representatives in Oakland County can sponsor legislation themselves when they're running for that seat, saying, let's change the way we do it in Oakland County and vote on requiring everybody to pay for Smart. Why don't you have the courage to do that? Is that right? It's kind of slimy.
Yeah.
These guys are slimy. Let me say it again, Mark. You're laughing at it. These politicians are slimy. They're trying to take my baby's house. I'm not a tax revoltist. I'm for good governance. I think your county's run pretty decent, man. Really is.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. We try to be mindful. I'm extremely conservative when it comes to finances.
Yeah, you know that. You know me. I keep track of everything. And how's you guys' corruption stuff going? When are they going to? When's the final blow coming? You hearing anything?
Again, it's in the hands of various investigation agencies. I know the state's involved, and so is the federal government.
We asked this to Congresswoman Lawrence. Is it over? It's not over, though, right? Give us some news. It's not over.
No, I don't believe so. No.
Okay. That's it, brother. Listen, thanks for the time.
Gentlemen, you too. Thank you for having me. Have a great weekend, and
thanks, Mark.
More importantly, have a great Thanksgiving, guys.
Happy Thanksgiving to you
thanks
as well.
for pulling over. Keep your eyes on the road. Don't text.
I'm getting back on this right now.
My man, bye.
All right, guys.
See you.
Well, there you go, bud.
Wow.
They got an old saying. I got a new saying. Never take your gun to Macomb Township.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding.
All right, so what do we...
But I mean, that was... it's just, like I said, I think it's a dangerous precedent because, okay, while it might be a good idea for this regional transit system or whatever, but if they uncap that, what's to stop them from doing it for some other bullshit pet project? Or,
I agree. Look, again, I don't like to... I'm a humanist. You know what I mean?
Right.
I am. I'm a humanist. I actually got to takes the bus up and down Woodward. There's never any lines of people waiting for the bus. And they did introduce a new line called Fast, and It has grown, and that makes sense, right?
And what is it? Just it doesn't stop. It picks you up.
It's like Express, and it comes more often.
Oh, okay.
Right? It's not like local, and
right.
So it moves. Who's got money to keep developing shit? Like you look at Chicago, New York, they built it because there was a need to take care of a congestion problem.
Right. We don't have that problem.
Nowhere have you built it, and then all of a sudden congestion comes.
Right. Right.
I know what this is. Right. Get out of my house. Hit my check.
Well, I think this is for special interest in Ann Arbor and Detroit. because it would not be a line that I would use,
Yeah, listen, before we go, I mean this in the real way. This is for Officer McClain's widow. I don't mean to be presumptuous. I don't even know if she listens, but he wants me to tell you that you're now going to be required to make a lot of decisions. They're going to push you. Luke says you don't have to do anything on their time, right? Take your time, get some help, whether it's Luke. Like, listen, he's not going to charge you. If you need some help, basically what Luke's saying is, if you need help, let me know and I'll put you in touch, and he'll do it pro bono, because it's a really difficult time, especially first responders, public servants. There's a lot of paperwork coming down. Take your time, grieve, and don't be rushed into anything. And we love you and we support you. And if you want to just get anything we can do, hey, cops out there, you need to do a fundraiser, whatever, Widows and orphans. It breaks my heart. Thanks for your service, Officer Rasheen McClain, and all you out there that wear the badge. Thank you.
There ain't no grave can hold my body down. There ain't no grave can hold my body down. When I hear that trumpet sound, I'm gonna rise right out of the ground. Ain't no grave can hold my body down. Well, look way down the river, and what do you think I see? I see a band of angels, and they're coming after me. Ain't no grave can hold my body down. There ain't no grave can hold my body down. Well, look down yonder, Gabriel. Put your feet on the land and see. But Gabriel, don't you blow your trumpet till you hear from me. There ain't no grave can hold my body down. Ain't no grave can hold my body down. Meet me, Jesus, meet me in the middle of the air. And if these wings don't fail me, I will meet you anywhere. Ain't no grave can hold my body down. There ain't no grave can hold my body down. Well, meet me, mother and father, meet me down the river road. And mama, you know that I'll be there when I check in my load. Ain't no grave can hold my body down. There ain't no grave can hold my body down. There ain't no grave can hold my body down.